This podcast is sponsored by nobody. Hey dudes, welcome to Splat from the Past, the only 80s themed horror sci-fi show where things can get totally radical. Now today I will be welcoming back the multi-talented Tracy Newman, sister of Lorraine Newman, founding member of the Groundlings, folk singer, you name it, Emmy Award winning comedy writer, especially for Ellen DeGeneres' Coming Out episode. You name it, she's a Renaissance woman. As a lot of you know, a week ago, we lost the godfather of comedy clubs, Budd Friedman. And last time Tracy was on, she told me she used to hang out at the improv in New York when Bud first opened, and within the first couple of years. And we're going to talk a little bit more in depth about that and do a little tribute to Bud, because after all, he was, one of the reasons why we love comedy today in stand up. Him, Mitzi Shore, Johnny Carson, they they changed comedy for a lot of guys who are coming up trying to be comics, and we have to respect that and address it. And I love talking to Tracy. She's a great lady, and she's so damn smart. And it's going to be another great conversation with her today. Yeah, I used to see Bud on an evening at the Improv. He always wore that monocle on his eye. He looked like Mr. Planter Peanut, with that monocle. I never understood why. I want to find out if he wore that monocle, in the 60s when she knew him. Get down to the bottom of that. So, yeah, here is my new interview with Tracy Newman. Hey, Tracy, welcome back. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Surviving on this godforsaken planet. That being said, at least I still have my sense of humor intact.
Well, that's good. What's going on? What's so difficult right now? I mean, everything's difficult, but what specifically?
Just, my mom's in the hospital until January. She got injured about a month ago. It's the third time in 3 years that she's gotten injured.
How old is she?
68.
Oh, that's young.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, she'll be out by January, though, and hopefully things will turn around. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, that, dealing with rude people when I go out into the world. Um, but all in all, things are great. I'm talking to great people like you, and I can't complain.
Hmm.
So, a
Well,
week.
yeah, Budd Friedman is gone.
Yeah, so a week ago, we lost the Godfather of Comedy Club's Budd Friedman. And you've told me before you met him when you first got to New York in what, 64?
I was there at like the end of '64, and I left sometime in '66. I was there for about 2 years. And yeah, I would go to my whatever gig I had, like mostly things like the bitter end, playing and singing, and then I would, in my gig over, I would go to the improv at 44th and 9th. I was trying when we decided to talk about this. I
Mm-hmm.
realized I don't even know who introduced me to the improv.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember the first time I went there because it's not like playing in in folk clubs. It's not like I fell in with comics there.
Yeah.
Didn't. So I don't know how it happened, but somehow I fell in with some comics and started going there because it wasn't the folk singers that went there. I was the only one that I know of that was there.
Hmm. Well, back then it was a much smaller world. Everything was word of mouth, and somebody like, everybody knew everybody. And so the word had to have been passed around. That's probably how you discovered the place.
Mm-hmm. I don't know though. I mean, there was a time when I played at a club called Kovac,
Mm-hmm.
which was like 64th and Park, or like around Park or Madison. It was like the East Side, and that had comics. That was a dinner place, and I played. I was like a wandering minstrel there, and I was there for a number of months. I may have found out about it then, but I feel like I knew about the improv before that. So mean, Jonathan Winters used to come in then. I already knew about the improv.
Yeah.
You know, so I just, I don't remember who introduced me to it, but, you know, I loved the improv. I mean, you know, everybody went there after their gig.
Yeah. What was Budd wearing his monocle yet?
I'm sorry, I was just going to say they stayed till like 4 in the morning.
Oh, sorry.
There was no alcohol there. It was just a coffee house.
Yeah. What was Budd wearing his monocle yet?
Oh, you know, I honestly don't remember. I know that it's the improv. I mean, the improv, and when I say the improv, I mean the current one.
Yeah.
You know, on Melrose, here in LA. But yeah, I think he did wear it now and then. I do think he did. Like maybe as a joke, though.
I don't know. I grew up watching An Evening at the Improv, and what he would do is he would go up on stage without it, and then when he sat down, he would put it on, and I was just like, why is he wearing that? He looks like Mr. Planter Peanuts, you know?
Yes, he does. He did.
Yeah.
What a sweetheart, though. You know, there were not very many singers. When I was at the improv, there were not very many singers there. There was a girl named Betty Rhodes, who was amazing.
Yeah.
16-year-old boy named Bruce Splat, who was amazing, who was doing a lot of Merv Griffin shows.
Yeah.
There was Bette Midler and Liza Minnelli would come there, but they rarely got up.
Yeah.
You know, and I was doing a Beatles medley, which is why I think that's why he liked having me do. You know, because it's not like I came in and did folk songs.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
So that's how I got popular there, was by doing a Beatles medley.
So eventually, though, there would be either folk singers or just regular singers singing between comedians at the improv?
No.
Huh.
No, there was, I mean, this is, again, it's my recollection, and I'm pretty old, so, you know, take it all with a grain of salt. But it was, you know, comics and improv, you know, people like the Four would get up to improvise, or Robert Klein would get up and improvise a song, or Lily Tomlin would be working something out, you know, and then there were just a couple of singers that might get up, but in general, no, it was mostly, you know, mostly comics.
At first, the improv probably wasn't a hit out of the gate. So was anybody coming in to see the shows?
That's a really good question too. It feels like to me, in my memory, that 90% of the audience, like at an open mic, 90% of the audience were performers. Now, whether they got up that night, many of them didn't.
Yeah.
But it was, you know, like just all performers.
Yeah.
All the comics. I mean, Woody Allen wasn't there. I mean, that I saw. I saw him at the bitter end now and then. But he wasn't one of the comics that hung out there. Neither was Dick Cavett. But, you know, people like Rodney Dangerfield and more of the kind of people that were gonna really play, you know, like I don't know how to describe it, but I don't know. Woody Allen and Dick Cavett were famous in a different way.
Yeah. Believe me, being a comedian, I know what it's like to perform in front of only other comedians, and it drives the owner of the place crazy because, you know, we're comedians, we're broke, we don't have any money, so no one's like buying booze or anything, you know.
Well, yeah, but back then, again, as I said, it was a coffee house, so everybody was buying coffee. And that's when there was food there, too. There was a cook, an Indian cook who, I remember one time he came out, he was about to leave at 4 in the morning, and he fainted. And they found out that he was, you know, deficient in, he needed meat. He was a vegetarian, and he just passed out from whatever meat gives you, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they said back then. That's what they said.
I'm sure, aside from Carlin, Pryor, Klein, the younger guys that were just coming in, I'm sure a majority of the comedians were like the old Borscht Belt Catskills guys because that was
Yeah,
all
there
they.
were some. There were a lot of those. Yeah.
Yeah, because that was all that really was. It wasn't until the early '70s when Catch a Rising Star and the comic strip came in, then the younger guys started coming in, like Jay Leno and Richard Lewis and Larry David and all those guys.
Right. Even though on that kind of, I don't know if you noticed on my Facebook page, I posted that collage.
Hmm.
Of the days that I was there, but it's not all the days that I was there because I never saw Richard Lewis there or the guys you mentioned.
Jay Leno, Larry David, yeah.
I never saw Andy Kaufman there, for instance. Not back at that time. Rodney
No.
was there, and I'd have to look at that poster to see who were the guys that were actually there when I was there. But this preceded. You're right. I mean, even Jay Leno. I knew Jay Leno, but I knew Jay Leno from the Comedy Store in
Right.
the 70s.
Right.
I mean, because I used to sing at the Comedy Store in 1972 when they first started the small room, when Sammy Shore started it, and Rudy DeLuca and him were running it.
Hmm.
And, Jim Carrey was there, and there was a lot of comics that were starting out there, too. But at the improv back then, I was there when Rodney Dangerfield decided to go back to, when in his 40s, decided to go back to performing.
Yeah.
That's when I was there.
Yeah, that's
Richard Pryor was there all the time.
Yeah, was Lenny Schultz coming around?
What's his name?
Lenny Schultz.
I know that name actually, but not that I recall.
How about Burns and Schreiber?
Well, I knew who they were, but they weren't hanging out there. I probably saw them there once or twice, though.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't regular guys there. Used to see Patchett and Tarsus at the bitter end.
Oh, Patchett and Tarsus, yeah.
Yeah, because they were like a folk team, sort of, a funny folk team.
Yeah, Bill Boggs was managing them. I talked to him about them at that time. Like he knew them in college or something.
Oh, that was so funny.
Yeah, of course, funny writers. They were very irreverent for their time. I don't even think a lot of people even know who they are nowadays.
Well, they don't realize, that they both have written and TV shows, very well known.
The Bob Newhart Show, yeah.
Alf, that show Alf.
Yep.
Patchett did Alf, I think.
Oh yeah, Mitzi McCall wrote for Alf too.
Uh-huh. Yeah, Mitzi McCall, by the way, was at the improv back there. Still are in Mira.
Yeah.
I know them from. How these names are coming back to me now.
I talked to Mitzi and Charlie back in March. Their daughter set it up for me, and oh my God, I never laughed so hard in my life. They were just doing their shtick the entire time and giving me great stories, about being on the Ed Sullivan Show with the Beatles and stuff. It was great.
Yeah. Oh yeah. David Geffen used to hang out at the improv.
Oh yeah, because he was at Columbia Records.
Yeah. I remember I was supposed to go. I was dating Ron Cherry for a time.
Oh yeah.
we were both friends with Chuck McCann.
Yeah.
Chuck McCann had a houseboat, and he wanted to go out on the houseboat, and David Geffen was going to come with us. And we were all in a car, I guess a cab or a limo or something. It must have been a cab because none of us could afford a limo back then.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even David Geffen was just starting out at whatever agency, William Morris or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And, hold on. I keep getting texts while I'm talking to you.
You're popular, Tracy.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, and so David Geffen was supposed to go with us, and then on the way they didn't have cell phones, so I don't know how he got a call. So what did he do? How did he know? He found out he couldn't go on the houseboat. Maybe he stopped at a payphone,
Mm-hmm.
and he had to call somebody, and then he got back in the car and said, I can't go to the houseboat. One of my acts is appearing on the Ed Sullivan Show tonight, which was a Sunday night. Again, there's another reason why I'm wondering why I'm remembering that it was You know, why would we go on a houseboat on a Sunday night? You know, even late Sunday afternoon. So my memory is not that reliable in terms of time. But anyway, so the group that he had though was the Four Seasons.
Mm-hmm.
And they were going to be on the Ed Sullivan show that night, so he couldn't. He had to go there for the Sullivan show.
Wow. Yeah.
That doesn't mean they were his act. It just means he was a young agent who was assigned to that for that night.
Right.
And then eventually, I'm sure they were his act.
What was Lenny Bruce around before he passed?
No, but you know who was there was Maury Hayden, Lotus Weinstock.
Oh yeah.
So Lotus was going with Lenny, and but I never met Lenny.
Okay.
But I spent a lot of time with Lotus.
She was a funny lady, very funny.
Oh my God, she was so funny. So funny. And she used to date a guy named Tim Rose, also a singer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I listened to Bud's interview on WTF with Mark Maron, and one thing he mentioned that I thought was really interesting was the Improv in New York was only closed twice. One when Kennedy was assassinated, and one when the '65 blackout happened in New York. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that.
Was it scary?
Yeah, it was terrifying.
Yeah.
And I don't remember where I was, because all the stories of people who were in elevators.
Yeah.
Well, that's all I remember. I wasn't in an elevator, but I mean that was just a terrifying thought.
Mm-hmm.
To me. And yet this is not. I mean, they were fine. You know.
Yeah.
They just had to wait. You know, they would have to wait. That just sounds horrifying to them.
Yeah, I was actually looking it up. Another one happened in '77, and then I don't think another one's happened since. But there was another one in '77. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that blackout was terrifying. Yeah, what was it you just mentioned? Though you just mentioned when you started to mention the blackout.
Oh yeah, he mentioned. Yeah, he said that it was closed during the Kennedy assassination, and then the blackout.
Oh, Kennedy, yes. Because Von Meter was there a lot.
Oh, Von Meter.
Yeah, and I remember when Kennedy was assassinated, but then soon after, and I mean soon, the jokes really started.
Yeah.
Like really soon, like way too soon. And of course, they were merciless with Von Meter.
Yeah. He was like one of the early canceled comedians.
Yep, he was definitely canceled quickly.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, people, have a tendency to forget about him, but yeah, he was like the first canceled comedian, and he had all this fame in like 1 year, and then it just crashed for him. Just completely crashed.
Just was completely over, having nothing to do with anything he did. You know, if you think about it. I mean, that's the thing. People usually do something to earn it. In his case, it was totally out of his hands.
Yeah, crazy.
I mean, there was no way he could keep doing what he was doing.
Yeah, God. And then what's his name? David Fry did Nixon in the 70s, but...
Oh my God, that's right. David Fry was there all the time, too.
But like Nixon was the Trump of the 70s, so no one really cared if he made fun of him.
No.
Yeah.
David Fry was amazing. Kind of a weird guy.
Yeah.
A very, very nervous kind of... sort of nothing else. You never knew anything else about him except that his impressions were amazing.
Yeah. I heard he used to run Rodney's club when Rodney wasn't there. When Rodney was like on tour or something, like David Fry would like MC the club.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never went to that club. That was later too.
Yeah.
When I left New York, I kind of left the comedy scene in that respect. I mean, I ended up with the Groundlings.
Right.
Turned into do comedy also, but I didn't go. The improv wasn't open out here,
mm-hmm.
and in fact, when I came back from New York, pretty quickly, I became an assistant teacher for a while.
Yeah,
It's show business.
I think it was early '76 is when the LA Improv opened, and they did the very first HBO Young Comedian special there. Freddie Prinze was the host, and it had Jay Leno, Elaine Boozler, Richard Belzer, Bob Shaw, and Gary Muldeer. That's a great lineup, huh?
Yeah, that's a great lineup.
Yeah.
Yep.
When you were at the oh, sorry. When you were at the bitter end, did you see the Ace Trucking Company there? Yeah.
Well, the Ace Trucking Company hadn't started yet.
Okay.
When I was there, there was the Pickle Brothers, which were also called the Uncalled For Three, and that was Ron Prince, Michael Mislove,
Yep.
and Peter Lee. And then when broke up, and Billy Saluga was working the door, bouncer, if you can even imagine it.
Yeah.
At the bitter end. And then the Ace Trucking Company sort of started to happen, and Mike Mislove moved over to that.
Yeah, I talked to...
I knew George Memley. I knew all those guys.
Yeah, Richard Reicheg.
Yeah, Richard Reicheg and Bill Saluga ran the door at the bitter end together.
Oh, my God.
I mean, can you imagine that? Richard Reicheg must be 7 feet tall, and Billy's like 5'3" or something like that.
He was a big guy. Is he still alive?
I hate to say that somebody passed and they didn't, but I just kind of had this feeling that he did pass. But I'm not sure. I know I used to be friends with his wife, but that was a long time ago.
Oh, Julie Payne?
Yeah.
Yeah. I interviewed Mike Mislove a year ago, and I just emailed him the other day to see if we can get Billy on here. And Billy's got a health issue going on, though, but he says that he looks like, he's going to get over it, and when he does, he'll connect us. So I'm excited about that.
That's great.
Yeah.
Talk about somebody who looks young. Michael Mislove looks like he hasn't even aged.
No. He's like, what, 80 now or something? Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, he's got to be around 80.
Yeah. Did you ever see this one singer, Tina Bowman?
No.
Okay, that must have been...
the name.
That must have been after you. She used to do the bitter end with the Ace Trucking Company. She later married that character actor, Richard Romanus.
Yeah, I knew Richard, and also, his brother. Mm-hmm. There's something about, now what am I thinking of?
Robert Romanus?
I'm getting somebody mixed up with somebody else right now in my mind. I'm thinking of Bill DeSetta and this girl, Bernadette Peters' sister. They got married, and there was this group of people that I didn't know really. I knew Bill DeSetta really well, but I didn't know the rest of them. And somehow I've got Richard Romanus mixed in with those people. But anyway, I must have known Tina.
Yeah, I mean,
I knew Richard.
Like I said, everybody knew each other back then. If they were in the same business, same area, it's totally different now.
Oh my God, it was such a small world.
Yeah. I mean, news traveled fast. It was word of mouth, all of that. It was so much more organic back then. Now the internet has just fucked it up, really. Yeah. We could
go on and on about that.
Was the upstairs at the downstairs around when you were there?
Yeah, I didn't know there. Joan Rivers was sometimes would come to the improv. She wasn't a very social, person. So, but I did know her sort of vaguely, and she was playing there, and I think Rodney probably played there at some point. I know she was writing for her.
Yeah, I talked to this one woman a couple weeks ago, Judy Engels. She had a comedy team with Bud Cort in the early 70s.
Oh, God.
They used to
God.
Yeah, they used to play at the upstairs and the downstairs, and they would see like Lenny Schultz and people like that, and it was pretty wild back then.
Mhm. I don't know why I didn't know Judy Engels. At least I don't know her by her name.
Yeah, she wrote for comedy shows for a while back in the 80s and 90s. Mostly like, when someone would host something on VH1 or Comedy Central, she would like write the dialogue for them,
Uh-huh.
that kind of stuff. And she did the voice of Fritz the Cat's girlfriend in that cartoon movie, and she's the girl in Harold and Maude when Harold's mother's trying to fix him up with this girl, and she sees the fire that he set, through the window. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's Judy Engels,
Okay, well, I probably did know her then.
maybe. Um,
Mhm.
so when Bud opened the Improv in L.A., did you at least go and see him?
Yeah, I also went there on occasion. The Groundlings even played there. It took us a while to open our theater on Melrose, and one of the places we played was the Improv. So yeah, I never was close to Bud exactly, but
Yeah.
there was a true warmth between us just because, I don't know, maybe the old days,
Mm-hmm.
And I sang there also at the Melrose Improv Club a little bit, not very much.
Yeah, because by that time it
I don't
became
remember
comedy
what.
focused.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, because by that point it became
Yeah,
comedy focused. I think the Ice House in Pasadena, they kept doing singers at least until like '79 or something.
yeah, yeah. I sing it a lot now at the Coffee Gallery in Altadena. There's called the Coffee Gallery backstage, and Bob Stain,
Mm-hmm.
who started the Ice House, has been running that place for years. But I also played the Ice House now and then, and I used to see Lily Tomlin there. She played there.
I
Just, they,
mm-hmm. Oh, I got to play the Ice House 6 years ago, and I completely bombed, but I had a good time
yeah, so how can you have a good time when you're bombing?
because at least I could say that I played the Ice House.
Yeah, that's afterwards.
Yeah.
So you might come up with a good story about it, but it's not fun while it's happening.
There was this one woman in the audience. She laughed at a couple references to like old movies I made, and that made me feel good. So it wasn't a total loss for me.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Yeah,
that's good.
yeah.
That's good.
But I think that Bud and Mitzi Shore and Johnny Carson, they introduced comedy to a new generation that had never been done before, and we have those three people to thank for it.
Yeah, we really do. I don't know this about history, but I mean, Sammy was. I mean, Mitzi was there, but when he turned it over to her, by then she was very much involved with the running of it. Maybe she was always involved in the behind the scenes running
Mm-hmm.
place, but when I was there, she was not prominent. I mean, I would see her. Maybe this is just my memory too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I didn't have much to do with Mitzi. Sammy would introduce people and Rudy,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm in this one of those winter farmers markets that I meet on certain mornings and hang out. Like Seinfeld, I guess, does with certain people or somewhere.
Yeah.
I guess it's Benton Al's in Beverly Hills or wherever. And my group, though, is Rudy DeLuca. And remember Jim Eppeling? Do you know him?
Jim Eppeling.
Eppeling.
Maybe by face I would.
It was a duo back then. It was Jim and Dorothy. It was his wife, Dorothy Van. They were so funny. Anyway, so this little group that I meet on Fridays is Rudy DeLuca and Jim Eppeling and some other people that they're all doing Tai Chi together, so that's how they know each other.
Yeah.
Kind of a fun group.
So, what do you think now that we live in this sensitive time where people aren't laughing at irreverent comedy anymore?
I don't know what to make of it, honestly. I mean, I come from the Groundlings. So not only do I come from the original Improv, but the Groundlings. Where at the beginning, we make fun of everything. Nothing was off limits. Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing at all. And it's definitely changed over there, too. I mean, I'm not part of the Groundlings anymore, but I go there a lot. And the whole texture of the place has changed.
Yeah, I mean, even the comedy movies, are non-existent in the theaters. It's been like 6 years since I've gone to a movie theater and saw a laugh out loud comedy movie with sex jokes and clever writing. It's like all the comedies now are on Netflix and they're like amateurishly cheap and just not that funny. I'm worried about the state of comedy.
I am too. Well, you never have to worry about the state of something like comedy, though. It makes more sense to worry about the state of something like the Groundlings or UCB, I'm sorry, USB.
UCB.
or SNL and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They're more fleeting than comedy in general. Comedy will always be there in some form and eventually probably go back to the way it was, maybe even be much more brutal than it used to be. I don't know. I don't know. I can't imagine it happening. But if you look back at the 70s comedy on TV, I mean, how much they got away with.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Unbelievable.
I watched those Dean Martin roasts, right? And like the Sammy Davis Jr. one. Oh my God. Just imagine the people who would be canceled nowadays saying those jokes.
Oh my God. Just so, and that's the truth.
Yeah. Oh God. Frank
I'm
Gorsh.
not worried about comedy, though. By the way, speaking of funny comedy movies, laugh out loud funny. I can't believe I'm saying this because I have never been a Weird Al Yankovic fan, but that movie Weird is really funny. I
heard, and I was shocked that it was even being made because the guy's still alive, and I'm just thinking, God, okay, I mean, he's never done drugs, he's never drank. It's like, what's it going to tell, And I've heard that it's a pretty good movie.
You will really laugh at that movie.
Yeah.
Really I don't want to ruin it for you, but I mean, I highly recommend it. It's on Roku for all things. I don't know how you see it unless you have Roku. I mean, I saw it streaming. That's how I saw it.
Yeah, I mean, I got my Amazon and Netflix, and I think I still have Hulu. I may have canceled it. I can't remember, but like, yeah, I mean, I'll see it eventually.
You're gonna write to me because you'll either find it as funny as I did or you won't.
Yeah.
I have a feeling you're gonna love it.
I think that female comedians being crude or body on stage is more accepted than men doing it. I think because of political reasons, but either way, I think it's wonderful. I've seen so many great female comedians out there. I saw your niece on Conan. I haven't seen her comedy club act, but she's good.
Oh yeah, she's really good. She's really good, and you're right. I mean, when I listen to Sirius Radio, some of those women are really amazing. Well, I mean, Amy Schumer is just great. And she's pretty irreverent.
Yeah, what I like about her, she talks to the audience like they're having an unrecorded, like she's having an unrecorded conversation with them and saying just the most shocking things, I got fingered in a taxi cab,
Yeah, I mean, she's just no holds barred, really. She's terrific.
She really is. Yeah, I also like Nikki Glaser.
Which one?
Nikki Glaser.
Oh yeah, Nikki Glaser's great, and Lisa Schlesinger, and oh God, I mean, it's nice to see that Rita Rudner is there actually playing her a lot on Sirius Radio, and her act is new. I mean, I don't know if you remember her.
Who?
Disappeared for a long. Rita Rudner.
Oh, I love Rita Rudner. In fact, I reached out to her for an interview recently.
She's always been really funny, but she kind of seems like she disappeared for a long time.
Yeah.
She's back, and I know it's new material because the internet is being mentioned so much.
Yeah, I remember about 14, 15 years ago, she had a special that was on PBS of all places, and I was like, wow, to go from HBO to PBS. I mean, that shows how, her style of comedy has changed for, the masses' taste, but she was still funny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She's really smart. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, these comics today, if you think back, I guess comics have always been smart, really smart,
mm-hmm.
but they seem so much smarter now. Maybe they just have to be.
Yeah, I think they have a lot of time on their hands. When they travel, they have a lot of time to like take things in and write it and just perfect it. And they, of course, they go up on stage, three or four times a night every night. So, it's commitment. And
Yeah.
plus, back in your days, a lot of the comedians that were coming up were all drug addicts and alcoholics. I'm not saying that the younger generation couldn't be as well, but I think the younger generation is clean for the most part, and they have a lot more focus.
Well, they're just smarter about it. I don't know. Intelligence, obviously, if you look at Mitch Hedberg, obviously intelligence has nothing to do with it, because he was so smart and,
Yeah.
his drugs that killed him. I don't know. I don't know his story. I just was like, it's a big loss.
Hedberg was so brilliant.
Yeah. So good.
What are your, like, top 3 favorite comedy movies of all time?
Well, the first thing that came to mind when you said that was Big, but that's such a long time ago. But Big was, at the time anyway, that really made me laugh. I mean, certain scenes in Big were amazing.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm missing. I'm forgetting like some of the. There were so many great ones, and I can't think of any right now.
For me, it's Animal House.
Yeah, I loved Animal House.
What's Up, Doc? And
I never really gave that much time. I'm going to have to look that one up. And I don't know how that stands the test of time.
Oh, it's laugh out loud hilarious. It's very like 30 screwball farts, and it's G-rated. It's really funny. And Airplane.
Yeah, at the time, Airplane was so funny.
Those are 3 very different comedies, and to me, they hold up. They're like, they're like in my top 3. I also love like Young Frankenstein and It's a Mad, 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 Mad World, which some people don't like, but I love it. I think it's a very funny movie.
That. Oh, I loved it.
Yeah.
If you think about it now, though, it's not so much the movie, but the people.
Mm-hmm.
So, like Melissa McCarthy really makes me laugh. Now, not in everything,
Love Harvey.
I don't like every movie she's done, but she really makes me laugh. Steve Carell really makes me laugh.
Yeah.
They're just, and Will Ferrell can really make me laugh, but that doesn't mean, I thought the beginning of that, what was that horrible Elaine May thing that with Dustin Hoffman and Warren Beatty?
Ishtar.
Where there were songwriters, that whole beginning, and they're writing a song together, I was laughing so hard at that. Of course, the movie was not very good. But
it had its moments.
It was so funny.
Ishtar had its moments. There's that one scene where Dustin Hoffman's trying to translate, some English to this Moroccan guy or whatever, and just the way he was doing it so frantically, it was screamingly funny. And I think certain critics like Roger Ebert pointed out that was the only funny part of the entire movie.
Yeah, well, for me it was the opening when they were trying to write a song together, because they're improvising. They're just, you know. I mean, and of course Elaine May and Mike Nichols, anything they touched, I loved.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Well, it's funny, Shelley Berman, he got that telephone bit from Nichols and May, and then when Bob Newhart, did his telephone bit, Shelley Berman got all bitter because he thought that he stole that from him, and it's like, no, that thing's been around for a while. You didn't invent it,
So stupid to complain about somebody stealing one of the 12 jokes in the world.
I know. I don't understand that. I really don't.
Yeah.
Do you think that Disney wouldn't be so up in arms today if Ellen's Coming Out episode was made?
Well, no, it wouldn't be a big deal now.
Yeah.
Obviously. The thing about that, there had been gay characters like brothers and stuff like that, things before Ellen.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that Ellen episode did was kind of open the door for the word lesbian.
Yeah.
It made being a lesbian seem okay. It brought it just brought it into the mainstream in a way that pretty gently, if you think about it, because everybody loved her
mm-hmm.
at the time. She was such a lovable. She's so lovable, and when you see her performing, you're just thinking, look at this person. She's just funny. She's just a funny person. And with all her troubles and everything that have happened, like the staff outing her for being nasty and mean and whatever.
Diva, yeah.
I don't know. I look at that. I'm having worked with her for 4 seasons or 5 seasons. She could be a jerk, but she could also be great. And show me anybody who doesn't have the same reputation as just in life.
Yeah, especially comedians, comedians are comedians for a reason. They have something from their childhood that just, makes them want to have this, kind of narcissistic need for attention, and I think that if the most successful ones, whether it's Ellen or Bill Maher or Jerry Seinfeld, the ones who have kind of that reputation, even if they weren't successful, they would still be the same person.
Yeah. I look at people like Roseanne.
Yeah.
And a couple of other stars of sitcoms who were truly horrible people.
Yeah.
Even though, Roseanne was funny. There's no getting around that. But she behaved really, really badly all the time.
Yeah.
Ellen was on good behavior when I worked with her most of the time. And then once in a while, she could be under too much pressure.
Yeah, she knew she was on the edge of a trailblaze for women comedians, and she was not going to let anyone stand in her way of that she was going to open that door, and she did.
Yeah.
And then comes, Ellen, and of course Brett Butler and Grace Under Fire, which, she screwed up that whole deal for herself. And then and then it kind of stopped for a while, and now it's come back.
Mhm. Yeah, when people like Amy Poehler and Tina Fey,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to include Amy Schumer in that because they're just people, you just know they're good people.
Yeah. It's just when you get to a certain level of fame, everybody wants something from you, and, you don't know if you can trust the next person who comes to you because the previous person wanted something for you and they were exuding toxicity.
Mm-hmm.
Fame is very tricky.
What?
Fame is very tricky.
Oh, fame is very tricky. I don't know who. I certainly never had my brush with it, but
Yeah.
I would say that it's. All the stars I've worked with in the shows that I've been working on, there's so much pressure on them, and
Mm-hmm.
while most of them were really nice people, we could see some pretty bad behavior now and then.
Yeah, and your sister had a level of fame being on the first cast of Saturday Night Live.
Oh yeah.
So, do you have any Thanksgiving plans?
Actually, I'm going to be in Orange County with my brother. My older brother has been sick lately, and so we're going to move the whole Thanksgiving to his area. And my daughter, I don't think Lorraine's coming over. I think they're going to stay in town and be with Hannah's dad. I don't know. I don't know what they'll do, but that's what we'll do.
Yeah, we're probably going to go, me and my brother are probably going to go visit my mom, and I think my nephew might be coming down. I don't know yet, but we're just going to find a Thanksgiving dinner, not even cooked this year. That'll be a first ever for us.
You mean go to a restaurant?
Yeah, a restaurant or something.
You better make reservations early.
Yeah. I know. I mean, if worse comes to worse, we can just go find a Denny's. I'm sure they have a Thanksgiving meal there.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any upcoming music shows?
Well, not by myself, but I've been, with COVID, the lockdown created these little pockets of Zoom groups.
Oh.
That I just decided at one point, well, let's take some of these Zoom groups out of Zoom, and now that we can, be in person and go to like the coffee gallery or some of these places. And so we're playing the coffee gallery. We already did it once, but me and 6 other guys, not good, guys and girls, 6 other singer-songwriters, we played the Coffee Gallery and, Bob Stain's place in Altadena. And then in February, we're doing the Caves. Because, there's all these really good singer-songwriters around that the venues have been closing and they're losing, so some of these other clubs are opening up to this shows with that many people in them.
Mm-hmm.
We're not singing together, we're singing separately. It's like a song circle. So I'm doing stuff like that, and I'm doing podcasts and, stuff like that. And I've done some solo shows, but I'm not gravitating toward that right now because I'm so used to playing with other people now. Just I do a song, they do a song. There's less pressure.
Right. Yeah, I saw that
right now.
Yeah, I saw that you did Steve Bluestein's show a couple times this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had him come on here on my birthday, of all days, back in June, and he's a hoot.
He's so funny. He makes me, it's so funny because, funny people are just funny all the time.
Right.
Not all the time, but whenever I'm around them, I find it funny. But Steve Bluestein is one of those people that whenever I'm around Steve Bluestein, I literally laugh. It's the same with Paula Poundstone.
Oh, yeah.
I'm around Paula Poundstone, I'm laughing from beginning to end. I can't stop laughing. There's something about her. I don't know. She knows that I'll laugh at anything she says. I guess that's it. I don't know, but she really makes me laugh, and so does Steve Bluestein.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is about, Steve Bluestein, really. We all know what it is about Paula Poundstone, but Steve Bluestein, he's always made me laugh.
He's a very funny guy. Yeah. And I can see he was making you laugh during those shows, too.
Oh, yeah. Well, somewhat. He had just got out of surgery on the second time I did his show, so it was kind of we shouldn't have done it that day.
Oh, yeah.
It had already been planned, so he just said, let's do it. And he wasn't well.
So really quickly, Tracy, let's play my secret silly game. This is a series of silly slumber party questions. It's not win or lose, just pure fun. And how the game works is I ask you the question, you answer it, and then you ask me that exact same question and I answer it. And feel free to comment on answers because they'll be funny.
Okay.
Okay, Tracy, are you ticklish?
Sometimes. Are you ticklish?
Oh, yes. If you tickle me without warning, I'll hit you in the groin.
Yeah, actually, being tickled without warning, that's maybe what it is. But you know how sometimes you can be tickled in a place that you're usually ticklish and
Yeah.
do it, but then another time. And I think that to be already in the mood, maybe, to be laughing.
Yeah, it has a time and its place. Is your belly button an innie or an outie?
Innie, what's yours?
Innie.
Mm-hmm.
People with
Most of the world, right?
Yeah, people with innies tend to live longer, I've noticed.
Is that true?
Statistically, yeah, that's what they say.
Well, I plan to live a long time.
And you will. What color are your toenails painted?
I never do it. That's just too lazy.
Okay.
Are you?
Right now, they're not painted. Last time they were Easter egg blue.
So, do you do it or do you have it done?
I used to get them done, but then after a while, inflation went up, so I just started doing them on my own.
Yeah, good for you.
Yeah.
Thing to do when you're watching television.
Yeah. I started painting my toes when I was 13.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
Yeah. Like I've been out in public and I've seen girls have come up to me and said, "Oh my God, I wish I could paint my toes like that. That is a beautiful color and so well done." And I can't believe I'm saying that to a man.
That's funny. So you're actually really good at it. That's pretty cool.
I'm decent. There are times when I paint where I clip my nails too short, and sometimes the polish will end up like on the side of my skin or something. I'm like, damn it, I gotta fix that.
I can't believe we're talking about this.
Are you comfortable with it?
Yeah, that is good.
What would you say is your best personality trait?
Oh, I think that I was going to say that I laugh a lot, and I think that is it, but I don't think that's the right way to put it. That I'm pretty much poised to laugh if somebody's funny. That said, though, if somebody's trying to be funny, I'm the worst person to be around.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe that's true about everybody.
Yeah.
What about you? What's your best trait?
Being a Gemini, I have empathy, and I also have no filter.
Yeah. Oh, now you make me realize that mine is gullible.
Gullible.
Now, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, it's the truth. And you know, you can. My first reaction to things that are outlandish
Mm-hmm.
are I tend to think people are telling me the truth.
Yeah.
And then I think about it maybe when I'm not around them, and I think, wait a minute, that can't be true. Thank God we have ways to look things up now, which is nice.
Yeah. Oh, everything I have told you is the truth.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Yes. And then my favorite question, is there a stinky smell that just makes you gag?
Well, there's certain cheeses.
Cheese?
I couldn't tell you which ones. Yeah, some cheeses. I like them. Like, I like them there, but I can't stand the smell of it. You know.
Yeah.
I wrote a song about cheese, and I'm trying to remember what the stinkiest cheese of those.
Mm-hmm.
There's a Kovac or something. There's a really bad smelling cheese, and I can't think of it right now. What about you?
It's probably Stilton or something. It's either farts or feet.
Yeah, well, that's what the bad cheese, smelly cheese is like to me. It's like bad. It's like smelly food.
Yeah. Love that. I have a joke for you.
All right.
What do you call a boy that doesn't masturbate?
I don't know.
A liar.
Oh my God, that's a good one.
Thank you. You can use that one. You can tell that to all your girlfriends.
That's okay. Yeah, I'm gonna come right out with that. Yeah.
No, just, if you're having like a glass of wine, dinner party, you can come out with that one.
Okay, well, good to know. Thank you so much for that.
Absolutely. Tracy, thank you for coming on again and having this great comedy conversation. I hope you have a happy holiday season and be safe out there.
You too. I say the same thing back to you, and thank you for having me. And I'm sorry we didn't talk as much about Budd as we probably should have, because I just remember him being fun. I don't remember that much about him in detail.
It's okay, because at least, we covered that era of comedy in New York in general, and I think Budd would have liked it that way.
Yes, probably. Okay, well, thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure. Have a great rest of your day.
You too.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, there you have it. Tracy Newman, ain't she a sweetheart? Oh, what a great fun lady, huh? And yeah, we covered enough ground about that era of comedy, and she didn't have a whole lot to say about Budd, as she said, but at least we preserved his memory in a good way, and we talked about his monocle and all of that stuff. So I'm glad we had this conversation today. Well, until next time, this is Tommy Throwback Kovac saying, there's no shame in living in the past, because the present sucks. Later, dudes.